March has been a month to forget as far as snow is concerned, although we're likely to sneak in some at the buzzer, just at the buzzer up in the mountains.
Right at the 11th hour.
Oh, here we are. Yeah.
So looking ahead to April now, could be more of the same. Meteorologist Chris Bianchi joins us now. You're going to talk us through some history of April snow, Chris, because I know you're the keeper of the stats. Newsflash, though, it's been dropping.
It has been dropping for Denver specifically, and I have a bit of a surprise conclusion. So let's start things off. A lot of you probably know this if you've been here for a long time, that on a long-term basis, on average, April is actually our second snowiest month of the year behind March. Again, a lot of you probably know that our third snowiest month is December 4th, February. Again, that's based on a long-term average going back to the 1880s. However, just as Jenny and Kim were saying, we've noted a decline in the last 30 years, specifically in Denver. Now, this is at Central Park, but stats roughly hold true for both downtown as well as out at the airport. And yes, of course, at Central Park as well. Snowfall in the last 30 years, about 5.8 inches for the monthly average in the month of April, 8.5 on a long-term basis. So that's a notable decline, right? And really in the last 10 years, we've also seen that slide continue a bit more with only about 4-inch average the last 10 years. That's a smaller sample size. But wait a second. Here's the kind of surprising part of things. In Boulder, Colorado Springs, and Fort Collins, April snowfall's roughly equal. In fact, in Boulder, it's notably up in the last 30 years. So what's going on there? Because the mountains, snowfall, also roughly equal. In fact, in most places that I looked at, mountain snowfall slightly up on an average basis in the last 30 years compared to the long-term average. So this appears to be a Denver-specific anomaly. And what I would say is this owes to, usually when I'm talking about a decline in snowfall, usually there's an attribution to a warming climate or some sort of a long-term weather pattern shift. In this case, this is probably a Denver-specific outlier because April snowfall tends to be very hit or miss, and we've just had a few more misses than usual lately. We tend to get these big spring storms, so those foothills events have actually been up. But in Denver, where we're a little lower in elevation, we've seen a slight decline in the last 30 years in our snowfall. So Kim, Jenny, the point is we have seen a decline in Denver specifically with that April snowfall, but it might be just a bit of a one-off thing for us here in town.
I wonder if this year is going to really mess up all the stats for a long time to come because it has just been such a bad year.
Oh boy. Yeah, we talked about it at length. In fact, snowpack right now, it's 22% of where it should be for this point of the winter season. And we're on pace to melt off that snowpack statewide 2 months earlier than usual.
Wow.
But
no
hey,
making up for that.
Hopefully we make it up a little bit.
Maybe some rain. We'll take rain.
Fingers crossed.
Whatever. Thank you, Chris.